what LinksDAO is doing is we're going to buy a golf course. Anybody that owns the NFT is going to be able to be a member at that golf course. That is an entirely new and novel concept to NFT. So we're one of the first projects that's bringing this type of real world benefit out to NFT ownership. Also, our NFT owners get a ton of golf related perks, 20% off of 5-iron golf, anything they have. The global members also get a month free membership, a free lesson, a percentage off of any transaction with Shipsticks just by owning the NFT. I'm speaking with one of the world's largest golf companies right now about tons of benefits that they're going to bring to our community of people that own the NFT. So we're going to bring like an incredible amount of golf benefits to NFT holders in addition to some of the other things I was talking about, which is a pretty cool concept.
Hi, this is Pete Makepeace calling from Solihull in the United Kingdom, and I play at Stonebridge Golf Club. Brought to you by Dynamic Golfers, this is Golf Smarter number 833.
Congratulations, and thanks, Pete. You've just won a year-long membership to Dynamic Golfers by introducing today's episode. Golf+NFTs equals a new era in golf. We're going to learn more from two of the founders of LinksDAO.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Greene.
Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Jim.
It's great to be here, Fred. Thanks for having us.
Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Adam.
Thanks for having us, Fred. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I also brought a caddy along with me today. This is going to be, I tell you, I've done so many interviews. I've talked to so many different golf instructors and people around the golf world, and I've never been intimidated as I am right now. And it's not because of your status on the planet. It's because of the topic. And I beg the audience to hang tight with this because this is going to be an education, but golf will definitely be part of the conversation, right? So we're going to talk about Web 3.0. What does that mean? Who wants to take that one first?
I'll take you. You know what, Fred?
Jim,
I think
you're on.
Yeah, I'm on. So I think what you're going to find is a lot of this stuff is, at least at like the base level, is far more simple than people make it out to be. Now there's a lot of nuances and complexities, just like anything else, of course.
And
but
golf.
like Web3 and golf, and of course, a lot of complexities in golf. Think about your golf swing, Fred. You started this podcast trying to get free instruction, and still you're on the journey, 800 some odd episodes later. So
Absolutely.
So Web3 is kind of the next generation of the infrastructure of the internet, okay? So think about Web 1, all right? This is back in the day where we had dial-up internet, we had Prodigy, and we had AOL and kind of these, and Yahoo and these early day internet companies. And the way that these companies were built was largely open sourced with a lot of different developers working on a single project and kind of building the internet together, okay? Web 2 is where we currently are today, and this is the era of the platforms, closed platforms. Think Facebook, think Amazon, think Google. They're doing all their own development in-house for their products, and they close off their IP entirely to the rest of the world, okay? So that's Web 2. Web 3 is, again, it's kind of a democratization of the building of the internet, okay? And it's all done in a decentralized way, okay? So there's, like Web 1, there's a lot of people working on projects together, but unlike Web 1, it's not kind of, that project that's being built is not owned by the platforms like an AOL. It is different from that. It is all being built on something that's called the blockchain, okay? The blockchain is basically just a ledger, and all cryptocurrencies and all NFTs and all of that depend on the blockchain for transactions and authentications, all right? So Web 3 is a lot of people building together, recording and building all of their new products and services on the blockchain to ultimately build, the next era of the internet. Again, there's complexities, but I'm trying to just keep it basic and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one other way that I've heard the difference of Web 1, 2, and 3 described was Web 1 is read. It's kind of like information was presented to you and you get to read it. Web 2 is write, meaning that's more of like you get to contribute. So the social web where you're kind of integrating in that way. And Web 3 is own, right? You get to actually own your data or own your content. And that's what's different here in Web 3.
And let me just say, that was my caddy. That's my son, Danny. And Danny is the host of Crypto Changemakers, another podcast that I've introduced our Golf Smarter audience to. And I just felt like having Danny along to help ask some of these questions of things that I just don't understand was clearly why I brought him here. And that's why he's able to step in. So I'll ask my caddy for help along the way. Adam, did you want to explain it too?
No, I mean, I think the combination of Jim's answer and Danny's answer nailed it. I think we're just entering a world where there's a participation that's taking place, and incentives are very tightly aligned between people that are participating and the outcomes of these efforts and these projects. And I'm sure we'll talk about this later on this episode, but that's one of the unique things about what we're building at LinksDAO, which is where our members' incentives are very much aligned with LinksDAO's objectives. And that's why we've been able to have such tremendous amount of support and participation from our members. Dozens and dozens of people who are contributing to this project who are not founders like Jim and myself, but care about making this project a success. And that's one of the unique elements of Web3 is that their success is the group's success.
So as someone who has a son who's involved in this, we're obviously trying to explain it to our friends all the time, and which I'm doing right now because I have a feeling that the Golf Smarter audience may be closer in age to me than they are to Danny, because we're always looking for answers. But when I try to explain these things to my friends about NFTs and DAO, they kind of look like a puppy, they tilt their head like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. So you just brought up LinksDAO. Links, we get. Golf course, links. DAO, who wants to take on DAO? Adam, Jim, who's first?
Sure. I mean, DAO stands for Adam. Decentralized Autonomous Organization. You can kind of think of a DAO as a crypto-enabled version of an LLC. It's powered by, if you're familiar with sort of, I'll call like off-chain, old school LLC businesses, a DAO is structured in a similar capacity, except in the sense that as opposed to maybe very few number of people controlling an LLC who are shareholders in that entity, the DAO is fully decentralized in the sense that we have 5,300 individual members, holders of our token, 5,300 plus people in this DAO. Those people have meaningful influence and control over the direction of this project. They vote, they propose things, they vote on those things, and the DAO serves as a very influential advisory board to LinksDAO Inc., which is the C Corp that ultimately executes what sort of the will of the DAO. As a golf analogy, I would say that LinksDAO Inc. is kind of like the board at a private country club, and the DAO itself is like the membership base who wants to have influence. They want to vote on things. They want to hire an architect to redesign something, except that what's interesting about this example is our DAO is going to have way more influence than the members at any other private club are going to have influence over. They're going to be able to propose things and vote on things and decide things and sort of influence things in a way that the members at a private club could never possibly dream of. And LinksDAO Inc. and LinksDAO, the membership, work hand in glove to make sure that we provide and build the best possible golf and leisure club experience out there.
But who makes the final decisions?
So technically, LinksDAO Inc. makes the final decisions, but ultimately, LinksDAO Inc. is only as strong and powerful and influential as the membership base is and the community is. And so the alignment of incentives is incredibly tight. So if, for example, we've run a number of proposals and votes to date. We voted a few weeks ago whether we should donate $30,000 to Steph Curry's Eat, Learn, Play charity. Steph is a member of LinksDAO. He holds multiple NFTs. We decided that we were going to take some of the commissions that we earn on secondary transactions over a 3-day period, and the membership decided that they proposed to donate those to Steph's charity. They voted on it. It passed overwhelmingly, not surprisingly, and then LinksDAO Inc. executed that vote and that decision. We're hosting an event in Austin in a couple weeks at South by Southwest, a 2-day event for our members to get together and actually meet up in person, which is one of the, we'll get to this as well, but one of the really unique things about this project is that there's real world tangible utility and benefit to this NFT. And so we're bringing together almost 150 plus of our members together March 12th and 13th in Austin, where we're going to take over Lions Municipal, which is a very famous muni in Austin. We're going to do an event at Top Golf that night and an outing the next day at Barton Creek on the Fazio Foothills course. And that was an event and a proposal that was created entirely by our members. 5 people came together, planned this thing in a 2-week window, 6 weeks before South by Southwest. They're not part of the founding team at all. They're not compensated on a salary basis at all. In fact, one person doesn't even hold an NFT. He just loves the project and loves what we're doing so much that he stepped up. That was proposed to the community. The community voted on it. It passed, I think, 90-10. And so then LinksDAO Inc., which runs a treasury, used some of the funds to plan this event.
I was really looking at coming down to South by Southwest, coming to Austin for this. I've been to the Austin Top Golf. It's phenomenal. But it just also happens to be my grandson's first birthday, so I'm not coming. Listen, we're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be back right after this. This episode is brought to you by Dynamic Golfers. And it's pretty interesting that most of the time when I'm reading commercials for a sponsor, they provide me a whole bunch of information that they want to get across. But not Dynamic Golfers. They've sent me a couple bullet points, but basically they said, look, you're a user, you talk about it. And I can't tell you enough about how much I enjoy using Dynamic Golfers on a regular basis, especially before a round of golf, after a round of golf, the day before a round of golf. And whenever I know that I need my flexibility and mobility, so I'm using it multiple times each week. Dynamic Golfers is so unique because they target flexibility and mobility specifically for golfers. So many times you'll go to the gym, you'll go for a run, and you're working out, you're trying to stay in shape, and it's great. I'm not saying don't do those things because you need to be heart healthy, but that doesn't help you for golf. We talk so frequently here about flexibility and mobility. Played with a friend of mine this weekend. He does not move his hips. It's all arms, but I know he would do better if he just did a little bit of this workout on a regular basis. Join the thousands of golfers around the world who are using Dynamic Golfers and take advantage of the great deal they're offering exclusively for Golf Smarter listeners. It's only $9.99 a month. And if you sign up today for their free trial, you get a 7-day free trial. You'll also get 15% off your membership with the coupon code GolfSmarter. So please go to dynamicgolfers.com/golfsmarter and sign up for the 7-day free trial and 15% off your membership with a coupon code GolfSmarter. Do it today and you'll feel results in a few short weeks and you'll be hooked just like me. Jim, I hate saying this. People my age, people from the 20th century who are trying to make sense of all this, are we making it more complicated than it is when we talk about crypto and DAOs and Web3?
I think that yes, Fred. It like I mentioned before, it's a lot simpler than people tend to make it out. I do think that there are a lot of questions around it, right? So like cryptocurrency is pretty straightforward, right? It's a currency that exists online, that increasingly is being accepted for real life transactions from major companies. And there's a lot of different flavors of cryptocurrency. You have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, you have Solana, and a bunch of other ones, right?
Sure.
Now, what ties all of them together is all the transactions are they are recorded on the blockchain. So it's just that digital ledger that says, Fred or whatever your ID is, you paid Jim $3 in Ethereum. That's just recorded on the blockchain, right? So all of these cryptocurrencies exist in terms of the ledger and the blockchain. Now, NFTs, I think there's a lot of questions about those, right? Which are the non-fungible tokens. And that's the question that we tend to get the most, and that maybe, Fred, you and some of your other friends have asked, is why is somebody buying a JPEG for $10,000? What
or selling them for $23 million?
Or right, exactly. What the hell is going on online, right? So
absolutely.
So I think that explaining an NFT and kind of the value behind them is really important to understanding this space, and also really important to understanding our project and why our project is really exciting for the world of golf. So basically, people buy NFTs for three different reasons, okay? One, speculative value, okay? So I'm going to buy this NFT for $500 because I think it's going to get really popular and it's going to sell for $5,000, right? In the same way that you buy an investment, and so it's the speculative value of the thing, right? So I made a return on buying low and selling high. The idea of the value of these digital collectibles, it's the same as everything else. So the podcasters aren't going to see this, but all right. So I'm a big card collector, right? Big basketball card collector. So podcasters, I'm holding up to the camera because we're all on camera together. An 86 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card that I bought for $50 when I was younger in New York City. It's now worth $10,000 to $15,000. Why is this piece of cardboard with ink on it worth $10,000 to $15,000? It's because it is its perceived value. Why is the Mona Lisa a piece of art that is completely invaluable, right? How much would that cost you? Well, it's really just paint on a canvas with wood around it, okay? So I think these, just like any other collectible you would have, sports cards, more physical art, it works exactly the same way in the NFT space. So that's one thing to understand. So the kind of speculative and perceived value is number one. Number two, in the digital space, a lot of these things have become like the gold Rolex and the luxury good of Twitter and of a lot of the platforms. So there's this one NFT project called Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's the most high profile one out there. And people bought these apes for nothing and selling them for millions of dollars now.
And
right?
you said apes.
It's just different pictures of apes, right?
Apes,
so it's like,
yeah.
Apes, yeah. Now, if you have that as your profile picture on Twitter, you're seen as kind of the upper echelon of the crypto space because this is the rarest, this is the most expensive. Just like if you had, the hottest golf gear out there, right? Limited drop shoes for our generation, like limited drop Jordan golf shoes. Like, wow, that's amazing. You have the newest TaylorMade driver before anybody else, right? It's sort of luxury goods. And the third one, which is really important and most people don't understand, is the community aspect. So by buying these NFTs, you actually become part of a community, not just in like, hey, me and a lot of other people own these NFTs, but actually a community that exists on a platform called Discord. Think about this like a much more advanced version of like a Facebook groups, okay? So if I own this Bored Ape NFT, that actually gives me access to this community where I can chat with people and network with them all day. And there's a lot of very interesting people in this community. Elon Musk owns a number of Bored Apes. So Elon Musk will be in the Discord. Steph Curry will be in the Discord. And it's just with a lot of celebrities and investors and people that you might want to network, just like if you're out and playing around a golf with, three interesting people. So it enters you into the community.
Can I interrupt for just one moment?
Sure.
Define Discord for me, please.
Discord is just a platform where people are able to chat and organize.
Okay.
And that's why I say it's like the most easy way to explain it is kind of like a Facebook groups, right? So it's like you can organize a bunch of people into Facebook groups and you guys can interact with each other there. Discord is just kind of a platform of choice for more of the, this type of NFT space.
Oh, it's a platform. Okay.
It's a platform. Yep. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Nope, not at all. So, and then what we're doing, which is interesting, is what LinksDAO is doing is we are going out and we're going to buy a golf course. Anybody that owns the NFT is going to be able to be a member at that golf course. And that is an entirely new and novel concept to NFT. So we're one of the first projects that's bringing this type of real world benefit out to NFT ownership. Also, our NFT owners get a ton of golf related perks. 20% off of 5-iron golf, anything they have. The global members also get a month free membership, a free lesson, a percentage off of any transaction with Shipsticks just by owning the NFT. I'm speaking with one of the world's largest golf companies right now about tons of benefits that they're going to bring to our community of people that own the NFT. So we're going to bring like an incredible amount of golf benefits to NFT holders in addition to some of the other things I was talking about, which is a pretty cool concept.
So when you're talking about a large, and I'm not going to ask you to name this large golf company, are you talking about an OEM, or are you talking about a golf management company or a golf course development company?
Yeah, it's interesting. We're actually talking to all of them, all of those different types of companies
Sure.
now. The speed in which we've gotten to kind of the top of the golf industry with this project it's been really quick, and it's been really exciting because I think that golf is, I love this game so much, and I have for a very long time. And, but it has not historically been seen as the most forward-thinking industry and moves pretty slow. I think we've been shocked and humbled and inspired by how enthusiastic the traditional golf community has been about getting involved in this project and
Awesome.
these types of projects moving forward.
Awesome. Because that's something I've railed against for years on this podcast is the stodginess of country club life. And, just if I want to wear a shirt, let me change my shirt, right? Or the shoes, or wearing a hat in the clubhouse and stuff. Jim, where are you based?
I'm in Westport, Connecticut.
Okay. Adam, where are you based?
I'm in New York City.
Okay. Danny, where are you based? And I'm in Northern
Danny.
California. And the four of us now are all involved in this LinksDAO. We all have memberships here. How do we play golf together?
That's a great question. So in our Discord, we've actually have regional groups, and we actually have members that have met up in person already without prompting by, LinksDAO proper, that have actually gone out and played. So we've had people meet up we've had a group of 2 foursomes meet up in LA and go out and play golf together. We've got people that have played in New York. We've got people that have played down in the Carolinas and Atlanta. We've had meetups at 5-iron golf in New York and Philly, and other places already. And that's entirely self-organized. Like I mentioned earlier in the conversation, we're all going to get together. 150 plus members are going to get together and play golf in Austin for 2 days, down in Lions Municipal and Topgolf and Barton Creek. And then, as Jim referenced, the ultimate intention of LinksDAO is to buy a golf course and not just stop at one golf course, but we want to build a network of clubs and courses around the country and around the world. We actually have members in 45 countries around the world. So while our intention is to start with a course and club in the United States, longer term, we think there's an opportunity to build a global network of courses and clubs that our members can have access to, no matter where they're traveling and no matter where they live.
I think that LinksDAO is such a great example when trying to explain what NFTs are in general, because it's not just about like buying a JPEG, right? When people are trying to understand what NFTs are, they're like, I don't get it. Like, why? I could just, right click, save this image onto my desktop, and then I have it. And it's like, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about here. And what you guys have described, I think, really gets to heart of this matter. One is what you said, Jim, about community, right? And people can now, through the Discord, they can play golf together. You're now part of this community of people who are also holders of this specific LinksDAO NFT. And it's the utility, right, of that NFT beyond just the community, and that utility of potential membership in a golf course that will exist in the future, owned by LinksDAO, right? Or the invitation to this South by Southwest event, right? This is benefits that you're getting beyond just having this, JPEG that you now own. And to me, that really gets at the heart of why this is different and what I think people are missing in the NFT conversation.
Okay, my head's about to explode. We're going to take another time out, and I'm going to clean up this mess here. We'll be right back.
This isn't over your head. What are you talking about? You understand everything that's going on.
Yeah, I totally get it.
And you haven't even said that you're a member, that you actually own one of these NFTs.
I did, didn't I? Didn't I say we all?
No, you couldn't. You were like, yeah, we're all members, and then how do we play together? Like, you should say that you own one.
See, my children berate me publicly. Look at this. Okay. Okay, so yeah, let me make clear that I too, with the help of Danny, I purchased into a leisure membership. And Danny's brother purchased into what's called the global membership. There were 2 memberships available when you first launched LinksDAO, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And you were selling a limited number. So you sold 9,090 NFTs for the LinksDAO, and you sold out in like 48 hours?
A little bit less, yeah.
A little bit. Okay. A little bit less. And you generated a lot of money. Can we talk about the number, the amount you generated?
Sure, yeah.
Here? Please,
sure,
Jim.
yeah, of course.
Come on, stand on the pulpit and tell us here.
Yeah, it was over 11 million in sales for that initial drop, which was great, and I think kind of speaks to. I don't know that we anticipated it was going to sell out in less than 2 days, especially considering this was the 1st and 2nd of January, right? So people aren't necessarily completely switched on of 2022, yeah. Right. So I think it sold out faster than we were anticipating, and speaks to the excitement around the project itself. And Fred, you actually mentioned something that with your experience that's important for the project. So, Fred, this is the first NFT that you've bought, right?
Correct. Yes.
Well, over 30% of our sales were first-time NFT buyers.
Congratulations! That's awesome.
Yeah. It's cool. And that's like, we brought a lot of new people into this concept of kind of like the world of crypto, which is also, I think, one of the things we're most proud of, because this is something that I think it's going to be important for everybody to have knowledge of. And we've got a lot of new people to participate on it, which is really exciting.
And what do you think the tipping point was that you got that many first-time buyers? Is it because they understood, a golf course, that I get. A picture of a monkey, I don't. Where do you think the tipping point was? I'm sorry, an ape. I'm sorry. I don't want to be derogatory to any group here, so let's just call it an ape and not a monkey, because I've been with the apes, and they're not monkeys.
Too. Yeah, there's monkeys as well. That's just a different collection.
Yeah, and then there's doodles. Okay, so that was Danny's doodle. So Jim, Adam, what was the tipping point on this? Do you feel that worked for them?
I think it's a combination of a couple things. It's definitely the utility, which Jim and Danny cited earlier. Like it was quite clear. We laid out a roadmap for what you would get if you held one of these NFTs. We talked, we alluded to the benefits that we thought we could generate for them, and the idea that ultimately you're going to be able to have a membership at this first course and hopefully many more courses after that. And then I think it's the fact that golf attracts in a way that maybe some other sports don't, obsessive hobbyists and people that love this game, right? Golf is unique in that you can consume the sport in a lot of different ways. You can play it, you can watch it, you can talk about gear, you can talk about travel, you can talk about design and architecture, you can talk about the history. It's one of the things that I think lends this project lends itself well to a DAO and community, right? If you own, a Doodle or a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk or any number of NFTs, those things are, theoretically art, but they don't connect to a hobby or a passion or an interest. And so I own some other NFTs that are art, and I'm in those Discords, and they are dead quiet. No one knows what to talk about. There's nothing really to talk about other than the art itself. Whereas our Discord server has 15,000 people in it, 5,300 of which are NFT holders, so it's open to the public. And there are certain members-only channels. But there are consistently probably 4,000 to 5,000 people in our Discord server online 24/7 talking crypto, talking tech, but also talking all things golf. They're talking about the Honda Classic right now. They're talking about gambling on the Honda Classic. They're setting up games to go play with each other. They're talking about our event in Austin. We have a channel called the Lido, which is all things golf course architecture and design. And so it lends itself really well to a ton of different topics of discussion that all with golf is at the nexus of it. But you guys know, like, you can talk about golf in dozens of different ways. And so it really lends itself well to a project that can live both online and offline. And I think that's really what is the tipping point here for people.
Jim, I'm going to give you an opportunity because Adam kind of opened the door here for you to, because it's open to anybody, not just owners of LinksDAO. I'm going to give you the opportunity here to invite the public. How do you do that, to invite the public to be part of this Discord?
Fred, I would be happy to answer it, but I think that Adam is more qualified and sharper on this specific topic.
Just wanted to get you involved in the conversation. Adam?
Sure. So if you go to discord.gg, the letters GG, /LinksDAO, LinksDAO, that is a direct invite to join our server, our community. You do have to have a Discord account open for more than 24 hours to then get access to it. So you might get blocked first. And the reason is because, fortunately, this project has a lot of interest and a lot of momentum. And in the NFT Web3 crypto world, when you have a project that has a lot of interest, you attract a lot of people that want to scam people.
Sure.
So we have this 24-hour gating mechanism so that people just can't create an account that is created specifically for scamming purposes. So if you don't have a Discord account, create it, wait 24 hours, then you can join. But yeah, so it's discord.gg/LinksDAO.
One of the things I recognize on the website talked about LinksDAO safety precautions. Now, is that in regards to the Discord conversation, or is that more in regards to an actual physical golf course?
No, that's in regards to online safety precautions. So we have we mentioned, we have a community here of 15,000 people. One of the unique aspects of this is that it doesn't really look like much of social media. I think a lot of social media, whether it's Twitter or Reddit or other places, there's a lot of vitriol, there's a lot of trolls, there's a lot of people that just aren't great actors. And honestly, I've been living on the internet since I joined Facebook when there were like 50 schools listed on the homepage. I've been living on the internet since basically 2005 from a social media perspective. This is one of the few places that I've ever come across where there really isn't much bad behavior at all. And that's a testament to our head of community, Cooper, and a team of moderators that he's put in place who are entirely volunteers. There's probably 30 to 40 of them. And those moderators and Cooper keep us on track. They help facilitate conversation. They help keep the vibes and the culture of the community in a really good place. And it's one of the reasons why you have people that are hanging out in the Discord all the time who don't even hold the NFT. They just love hanging out, talking golf, and spending time, honestly, like making friends online.
Yeah, and I hate to even assume that, when you say no bad actors, I to throw out the word yet. but it's inevitable. But if you guys keep a tight grip on it, I guess that it's going to help. And people love talking about golf.
Yeah, and a
People
lot
love
of
talking about golf.
LinksDAO and many other communities on Discord, they're also like self-policing, right? Like if there's a bad actor who's there, then they're flagged by the community and they're kicked out of the Discord, right? And so it's not at all surprising, right, that LinksDAO is a place where people can come and talk about something that they're interested in and make friends who are all around the world, not just kind of in your local area, and share a similar passion.
Right.
We've been fortunate that
I've been doing too on the podcast.
We've been fortunate that there've only been a few, I'll call bad actors in the grand scheme of things, and honestly, there wasn't really that much of an issue. And to Danny's point, it's self-policing, and the community calls them out. But ultimately, like, it's human nature, and also we expect that over time. One of the reasons that I think this group has been so pleasant is we are going to meet in person. That's one of the sort of unintended benefits of this project, is that if your community only lives on the internet, you can kind of hide behind your keyboard, you can hide behind your screen. But over time, we're going to have 150 people together in Austin. We're going to hold other events all around the country. We're going to have a club where hundreds and hundreds of members come at any one time. And you're going to want to meet people face to face. And if you've been less than friendly, then it's kind of hard to leave that reputation on Discord and then behave totally differently in the real world.
I want to take another time out because I am just not done with this conversation. We'll be back right after this. Got an email from a Golf Smarter listener, Rich Whale, this week, who says, "Thanks for replaying the Tony Manzoni podcast this month. Of course, those familiar with the series can access at any time, as I did, originally quite by accident, but many don't, and replaying these conversations hopefully will bring Tony's terrific swing technique to their attention. It resurrected the physical aspects of my game, and I'm sure it can do the same for others. Tony's method worked for me from the first moment I tried it, and he's 100% accurate about taking side spin off the ball. Shots pulled or pushed a little? Yes. Significant hooks and slices? No. Keep getting the word out. The golf gods will thank you." And I thank you, Rich. Well, this week on Golf Smarter Mulligans is our second of our series we call Spring Forward into Golf Season with Tony Manzoni. This week is the first of 2 consecutive episodes. This one we call Make Sure Your Intention Matches Your Performance. Here's a taste.
If you love the game like I do and you want to improve, and the beautiful part about this whole concept is you can do it from your chip shot to your drive. It's the same exact concept. You are connected at the left arm, and you rotate your body through the target, and it pulls the club through. The club can't turn over, and you're going to hit really wonderful shots.
That's this week's episode of Golf Smarter Mulligans, featuring our most beloved teacher from the first 15 years of Golf Smarter, Tony Manzoni. Tony's book, The Lost Fundamental, One Simple Move Better Golf Forever, has been re-released and is available on Amazon as either a paperback or a Kindle version. And his video can only be seen online when you send me a request to our private channel. To learn everything you want about Tony, we have all the links, the book, the articles, photos, and the access to the Lost Fundamental video at golfsmarter.com/Tony. That's Golf Smarter Mulligans, being released this Friday. I have so many places that I want to go with this, but I want to go back to what you were just saying about how Austin, it's unique that you've got these people together, that they're getting together, physically getting together. Do you have any expectations or fears of how that could change the conversation by being face-to-face, whether positive or negative?
Yeah, Fred, it's a good question. I think it's only going to be positive.
Great.
And if you think about this, you go on a trip with 7 friends, and you spend a couple days playing golf and having fun.
Only 4
how
people
are your
return.
text message conversations? I don't know how your trips go, Fred. Everybody always comes back from mine. So how are your conversations afterwards, right? It's shared experiences. It's your best shots. It's, giving people a hard time for their shanks or for missing the tee time and having to meet you on the third hole. Like, it's all of the good things about doing a communal golf trip. And we're going to have that, but massively amplified on a social platform. So I think it's going to be an overwhelmingly positive experience for the community.
I'm so excited for you. So that brings me back to the beginning of this. Is like, at what point did, you guys sit together, and I know Mike Dudas is with you as well, and say, a golf course, we need to do something with NFTs and golf. How did that begin? Yeah,
that's interesting. So Mike has a pretty sizable Twitter following. So he basically tweeted out the concept. And there was just an enormous amount of enthusiasm immediately behind it on Twitter. And then we started the Discord, and within a day there were thousands of people in the Discord, and it was growing exponentially. And we said that this thing has serious legs, and it's going to make the game of golf more accessible, more fun, more inclusive, more democratic. And we feel like, by taking these steps, we can make this thing really happen. And so from the tweet, from the concept to us raising over $11 million was 16 days. So it was 2 weeks. The project only started 2 months ago.
Oh my gosh.
So it happened fast. We worked nights and weekends over the holiday. We built a great team that was all community based. So people that were excited about it, that were in the Discord, those are a lot of the founding members of the team, right? We had never met each other. We worked collectively to see this, this dream get through its first step. And when you have thousands of people that share a common interest and a common goal working together to make that happen, it's incredibly powerful and things move very quickly. And that's kind of the power of Web3.
One of the things also that too. Yeah, well, I just wanted to say, like, one of the things that interest me as well is that the conversations that began to have is said, okay, if we own our own golf course, what do we want to do differently? And I'm curious to know from you guys, when you're thinking about this or things that you've heard from the community, what do you think is going to be different about the LinksDAO golf course from kind of a general golf course that's out there, country club or anything like that?
That's so crazy because that's the one question I had next on my list was, so you get a golf course, how do you run it differently than, say, a country club? Trained you well,
you guys must be related. So I think that there's a number of different ways that it's going to be different. I think, the byproduct of there could be over 5,000 members is one, right? And so, the finances of the golf course are going to be fundamentally different, and it's going to be significantly more affordable and financially accessible than a regular country club would be, which is usually like, for the majority of folks that are out there that like the game of golf, forget about joining a country club because they're too damn expensive, right? Ours is not going to be like that. It's going to be a very low barrier of entry in terms of cost. So we want as many people from as many diverse backgrounds as possible playing this golf course every single day. There's a lot of things that we've talked about in terms of routings, right? So, it's an 18-hole course. Maybe we have a few routings that make it a shorter course that can make it more engaging and more fun, again, more accessible to golfers of different skill levels. There's going to be a number of different partnerships that we have in place with, the surrounding communities and community golf courses as well that'll give, inclusive access to our membership. And in general, we're also going to have this community of ours, this DAO, informing what type of golf course they want to have, what type of experience they want to have, what type of culture, what type of vibe they want to have, Fred. And like you were saying, right, golf tends to be stodgy. So, I'm sure that this is not going to be your stodgy grandfather's country club. That I can say is 100% factually true.
Definitely not my grandfather. Maybe your grandfather, but not mine. So, okay. So the thing is, I I bought this leisure membership for 0.18 ETH. And the global memberships, when you first launched, were going for 0.72 ETH. But I feel like from everything I'm reading, it looks like when this golf course opens, I'll be allowed to go into the bar and have a drink. But no, you're not going to get to play golf. I mean, what's separating the leisure membership and the global membership besides what they pay as far as what we receive? Did that make any sense?
Yeah. So, I mean, the leisure membership both memberships give you the right to purchase a golf membership at the club. The leisure grants you the ability to purchase an individual sort of solo membership, and the global grants you the right to purchase either 2 individual memberships or a family membership. And then all of these tokens give you voting rights, the same way that you would have a vote as a member of a club. The leisure gives you 1 vote, and the global gives you 4 votes, which is why they were originally priced as a differential of 4 to 1 when we minted them on January 1st and January 2nd. And then we have, as Jim mentioned before, there's a number of benefits that we've associated with them. So leisure gets 20% off everything at 5-Iron Golf. Global gets that, plus they get a free lesson every year and 1 month free membership. So there are some extra perks and benefits for the global membership that the leisure doesn't have. But anyone who holds one of these NFTs will have the right to purchase a membership at the first club and play golf.
It sounds vaguely familiar to when sports teams, especially football teams, were building these new stadiums and they were offering PSL, seat licenses.
Yeah, the people bring that up with us a fair amount. The PSL analogy is definitely brought up.
Is it a valid one?
I think it's fair. I don't think so. I mean, it's fair, Fred, but I don't know if there's a direct correlation between the two. Because the seat license is basically, we're going to sell you a seat in this future stadium to help us fund the project, right? So we're not selling memberships in the same way. We're saying basically this NFT brings benefits, such as all the benefits that we've already laid out a few times, but it doesn't give you full-on membership into the physical club. So I think that's just an important differentiation between the two. But again, like I said, the price point of joining the physical clubs is going to be very low and extremely accessible for everybody. Very, very much different from traditional clubs.
So I'm going to go back to these 0.18 ETH that I spent on my leisure membership, which was the equivalent of about $675 US. And that was right at the first of the year 2022. Here we are now at the closing in on the end of February of 2022. What is the leisure membership value today?
I'm looking right now on the secondary market. It is $1,780 is the last one that was sold about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so I have almost tripled my money here. But that's only if I want to sell it. And I'm selling it in ETH as cryptocurrency, not in dollars and cents.
I mean, that's a very important point. So it's actually the price of ETH has gone down compared to the US dollar significantly in the last 2 months. And so if you're looking at it just in terms of the price of ETH, you're like 4 times.
Almost 4x. Yeah, you're almost 4x of ETH. It was 0.678 was the sale in ETH.
Yeah. And
you bought it for 0.18.
Okay. But this isn't being dictated by the markets, the traditional markets that people use to calculate their personal wealth, is it? No, we're not looking at the Dow Jones or anything like that on this.
Well, it's sold on a secondary market called OpenSea, which you can kind of think of as like eBay for NFTs. And so it is a marketplace in the sense that it's an auction and someone's willingness to pay will dictate the price. And you could set a minimum floor price that you need someone to clear, or you can just run it as an open auction, or you can set it as a list price the same way that you could do on eBay. And so if you look at the last handful of transactions, for leisure, they've all been between 0.66, 0.67 and 0.69. They've all been between $1,730 and $1,800. So periodically there's a point of stability where you kind of reach it seems like over the last several hours, basically, there's a clearing price that's been met or set by the community as to what they're willing to pay right now for a leisure.
And since
I'm not getting rid of it.
Since we've been on this call, I think 3 have sold, right? So it's like this is happening constantly, and anybody who's listening has the ability to go on OpenSea and use ETH to purchase one of these memberships if you want to, and that's kind of what's going on here. It's going all the time.
Okay. Well, I'm not getting rid of it, and Danny will testify to this one. Is what I'm not big on these kind of things. But I did buy Apple stock when Steve Jobs came back, and I refused to get rid of it. And he keeps telling me, now, get rid of it, sell it, you're good. I'm like, no, I'm not getting rid of it. And it's a good thing that I haven't. Well, listen, I really implore the audience to write to me if you are totally confused or enlightened. I'm really curious to know if this worked for you, and invite you, as do Adam and Jim, to go check out discord.gg/LinksDAO. Is that correct?
Right.
And also go to linksdao.com, linksdao.io. Any parting thoughts, Adam?
No, really appreciate the time, Fred and Danny. Thanks for having us on. It's been great to chat with you guys.
Jim?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the conversation. I love that both of you own the NFTs. Fred, I love that this is your first NFT, and Danny, I'm sure you've been trying to get him into this for a while now. So,
yes, he has.
This is it's cross-generational, breaking down barriers. Awesome. And really excited to play with you guys down at the first LinksDAO course.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm really sorry I can't make it down to Austin, but wish you all the luck when you guys go down there, and have a great party with all of all the members that are able to make it down there. And we invite them to keep listening to Golf Smarter, so maybe they'll learn something about improving their game as well. Guys, thanks so much for your time. Danny, thanks for being my caddy today.
You bet.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Today's episode was introduced by longtime Golf Smarter listener Pete Makepeace, who plays at Stonebridge Country Club in the UK. It's really awesome to hear his voice, since we've been emailing back and forth for years, and he knows my voice pretty well. Honestly, it's very strange to have friends from around the world who I've never heard their voice or seen their face. But he wrote to me, and there you go. Now, what about you? Wouldn't you like to also receive a full year membership to Dynamic Golfers valued at $90, just like Peak did? Well, I'd like you to have one. And it's not like you have a limited chance of winning. All you have to do is send me an email requesting to do an episode intro, and once I get your voicemail, you win. It's that easy. To introduce an upcoming Golf Smarter episode, all you have to do is click on the Hey Fred button at golfsmarter.com and let me know you're ready to go. I'll write you back with a specific episode number. Then you call our toll-free Golf Smarter listener line and leave me a message that I can download and put on the next episode. Do that, and you get a full year's membership to Dynamic Golfers. But you should do it now, because we have a limited number of memberships to give away. Now, I'm going to throw you a little curveball. I've got a short interview with my playing partner, John, that I'd like to play for you. And here's why. We played together this weekend, and before the round, I met this great guy who is a field service representative for Srixon. We talked for a while about the half-price promotion he was running at the course to get people to try their balls. He was very kind, and then provided me with a free box of Srixon Z-Star XV balls in exchange for posting our thoughts on the podcast. Now, I told him I usually play a Titleist Pro V1X, and he said this ball should do the trick. So we're going to take a quick break here and then return for our review on the Srixon Z-Star XV balls. This is going to be fun because this is not something I generally do, but why not do it today? So I'm joined with my regular golf buddy for well over a decade now, easily over a decade, the ambassador of ease, John Leland. Welcome to the
Fred.
podcast, John.
I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm glad that you're here. So here's what happened. Last week, and John and I play together once or twice a week, like I said, for a long time. And last week we were playing at one of our favorite courses, Foxtail North. And there was a guy, a representative for Srixon there, selling balls at half price. So I had a conversation with him, told him about the podcast, and said that I'd be happy to do a review with John on these balls. So he gave us a promotional box of balls, 12 balls. And we played the Srixon Z-Star XV. And I told him I like to play the Pro V1X. So we played 9 holes together with these balls. And then I played 9 holes with my Pro V1X. But John continued to play the Srixon Z-Star XV. John, should we talk about scores? Should we talk about...
Scores. I can't credit balls with scores. I mean, maybe they do claim that it's a big distance ball, but the thing that I would say first and foremost is I like the greenside feel. I mean, there were a number of places in the round where I was off the green and had to chip up in the air, or pitch up in the air, and it stayed on the green better than the Callaways. I generally have been playing a Callaway ERC soft. Which I like the feel of, particularly for distance, because I can compress it easier. The thing that I was kind of curious about is that this is not as low a compression ball. I'm 74 years old, so I think it's to my advantage to play a low compression ball because my swing speed is not PGA Tour level. Let's say that. But anyway, I really like the 74? Feel of yeah, you know that.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
You're famous for having say that it's impressive. I'm in my 70s and playing the best golf of my life.
It's true.
Yeah, and you're famous for saying it. I've seen it on billboards everywhere. Anyway, thank you for your encouragement. But anyway, these are not a low compression ball, and I didn't really notice that I lost distance. But I did notice that I had improved feel and spin around the green that helped me. And I definitely prefer these balls over the Callaway ERCs soft. I think the Callaway Chrome Soft do a better job of checking up on the green, and I'm going to probably gravitate back there. But thanks for getting these balls, Fred. I enjoyed playing with them.
You're very welcome. Now, do you generally get a lot of spin around the greens? Do you feel like you can control that?
Controlling it is one thing, and then noticing it when it happens is another. But yes, I in my short game, I hit down on the ball pretty well, and I definitely noticed that the Pro Vs and the Chrome Soft check up better. I had never played the Srixon Z-Star XV, which is one of the longer ball names ever. But it was fun to play with. And, as you know, I like yellow balls, and thank you for getting the yellow ones. I find them easier to spot, and it's kind of nice to be different. But, anyway, I do notice it. And I do notice it. That's probably the place where I notice a difference between balls. And these were it's interesting that they promote this as a distance ball, even though it's not a higher compression. And like we were talking before we started recording, that we both did a little bit of research. And so I can tell you, I think if I can find this page quickly that I pulled up.
Well, here's one line. While you're looking for yours, here's one line I found. It says, the ball's ability to reduce spin on drives and longer iron shots, combined with its stopping power around the greens, has made it a favorite.
Yeah. It's a 102 compression ball. The Pro Vs are the regular Pro V1 is 89, and the Pro V1X is 98. So that's a closer compression to your favorite ball. But and I've been looking at balls like an AVX is 80 compression. But the other thing that I don't claim to understand anything about, but is certainly a factor. The AVX is designed to be a low flight ball, and these balls are higher and are designed to, as part of how I guess they're distance balls, they're designed for a higher flight. I was concerned the way I was hooking or whatever earlier in the round that it was a higher spin, but I always say this, I can't talk about equipment with you without going, I always think it's about the Indian, not the bows and the arrows.
Yeah, of course.
And, my drive settled down and we're doing straight and reasonably long later in the round. And I think that's just because I found a better groove with my drive. Had nothing to do with the ball. I can't blame the ball for the fact that I was hooking earlier.
So putting things in perspective, let's get things clear on. We started playing earlier than we generally do. We started in the morning, and the ground was moist. And the air was cool for Northern California, so the ball wasn't traveling far, and it wasn't
and not
rolling
as loose,
far.
And I wasn't as warm and loose as I usually am.
Right, exactly. And also, what's your handicap?
I'm down to 15.2 again.
Ooh, good. And I've gone back up to a 9.9. So I do have to give you strokes, but we are not really qualified to give, educated, other than doing some research and hitting balls. We really can we tell the difference between one ball and the other? Little bits and pieces, or is it anecdotal? It's like, today I'm not hitting the ball as well. I don't know. I did notice at one point you said, "Oh boy, it checked up well," but you hit a chip shot from the rough, and it was wet. And I'm like, "Wait, you can get spin out?" I've always heard that it's hard to get spin because when the grass blades get between the ball and your wedge, that it impedes on it getting some good spin. So I'm like,
oh no,
I
mean, if you trap the ball, you definitely get a different kind of spin. But even out of the rough, when you hit down, it puts backspin on the ball. Just as if you put a hook or a slice spin on it out of the rough, it's gonna hook or slice. You can, the club angle of attack that the club has on the ball does import spin, and some balls take more spin than other. Will take it as an accepted or become, allow the spin.
And then one more thing for a matter of perspective, how often do you buy new golf balls?
New golf balls as opposed to buying used golf balls?
How often do you play new golf balls?
Not very often. I generally, when I do buy balls, well, that's not true. The last box I did buy from Amazon, I bought some new ERCs.
You did?
So I don't know, less than half the time. I would say in generally I buy used ones or find play balls that I found or play balls that you find in your yard. That you
exactly.
generously give to me.
Oh, John, actually I found one yesterday. I have one in my pocket. Don't forget to tell me tomorrow when we go out and play. But I do want to congratulate you on our round the other day, because you did, without giving strokes, you did beat me by a stroke. I had 4 less putts than you, and you still beat me by a stroke.
Yeah, I played well for me. I was 84 at Foxdale North. I mean, I went from 15.8 to 15.2 just in the last couple of days because of that round. And it was my short game that saved me. I mean, it's like, I got way out of position on a couple holes and was able to, pitch it up reasonably close in 2-putt and save bogey, which was, for me, is like, if I can, I did not have any triples. So that was another accomplishment.
Oh, that's good. That's good, because I did have one. All right, for the last piece of perspective.
I wasn't going to say that.
I don't have a problem. But I did birdie on 9 and 18.
And I had one birdie.
Yes, you did. And my birdie on 18 was ridiculous because I had this 2-level, 45-foot uphill putt that went in. It was amazing.
That was one of those miracles happen on the golf course. That was one. Sorry,
yes, it was. What a way to end the day. One more thing out of perspective. Pull up your app, the NCGA app, and look up Foxtail North courses played, your last 20 rounds there. And for me, the last 20 rounds at this golf course, my high is a 92, my low is 76, and my average is 82.4. So I was a little bit above my average. And what about you?
Okay, so my high was 96, my low was 84, and my average was just below 90.
So you had a great round.
Six strokes. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. 6 strokes under my average for that course.
Fabulous. Want to really thank Eamon Coughlin, who was generous enough to let us do these balls so that we could review them on the show. I don't know if we've given any valuable information to anybody about them other than talking about our rounds, but would you play these balls again?
I'm going to. Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
You gave me the rest of the box. You're such a generous, wonderful guy. But no, I think they're a good golf ball. What I wouldn't do is pay $50 a dozen or $45 a dozen, whatever they go for, because I just don't spend that much. I won't spend that much on a golf ball because I don't think it makes that big a difference. But I think it's a good golf ball, and I will say that it has a really nice feel around the green. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It felt good. But
and
like you said,
wonderful testimonial.
That's coming from a 15 handicap, for what it's worth.
Well, and that is right there in the middle with the rest of the world. John, thanks so much for your time. I'll see you tomorrow.
Great. Thanks for all you do. You're an amazing podcaster, Fred. Golf Smarter, 800 and whatever episodes, right? It's amazing. You're a phenom.
Thank you.